In the event of failure of HF communications, pilots should try to relay position reports through other aircraft using the 123.45 frequency. If necessary, initial contact can be established in 121.5, but it's recommended that aircraft monitor 123.45 as well as 121.5 when flying through NAT airspace.
We need to make a position report, Kev. Can we do that on the sat phone, shall we?
That's okay, the number's in the directory.
Suitably equipped aircraft may also be able to use SATCOM in some FIRs using the telephone number published within the relevant AIP.
Shall we?
The following procedures are intended to provide general guidance for aircraft operating in or proposing to operate in the NAT region, which experience communications failure. These procedures are intended to complement and not to supersede state procedures or regulations. It's impossible to provide guidance for all situations associated with communications failure. Generally, the pilot of an aircraft experiencing a two-way communications failure should operate the SSR transponder code, identity mode alpha code 7600 and mode Charlie. He should follow local regulations and squawk for the stipulated period before making any uncleared manoeuvres. The pilot should attempt to contact any ATC facility or another aircraft and inform them of the difficulty and request they relay information to the ATC facility with whom communications are intended. SATCOM is now available in many FIRs. Even if contact cannot be made directly to the FIR in which the aircraft is, any ATC unit which can be contacted will be able to relay a message. Pilots should be aware, however, that it may not be possible for the ground to subsequently initiate a SATCOM call to the aircraft. If communications failure is experienced in domestic airspace prior to entering the NAT region, it is strongly recommended that a pilot does not enter the oceanic airspace but adopts the procedure specified in the appropriate domestic AIP and lands at a suitable airport. However, if the pilot elects to continue, then to allow ATC to provide separation, one of the following procedures should be followed. If an oceanic clearance has been acknowledged, the pilot must enter oceanic airspace at the cleared oceanic entry point, level and speed, and proceed in accordance with the oceanic clearance. Any level or speed changes required to comply with the oceanic clearance must be made within the vicinity of the oceanic entry point. If an oceanic clearance has not been acknowledged, the pilot must enter oceanic airspace at the flight-planned oceanic entry point and at the level and speed flight-planned for that point. Any level or speed changes required to achieve this must be made within the vicinity of the oceanic entry point. He must then proceed in accordance with the filed flight plan route to landfall. The pilot must not make any changes to level or speed which may be contained within the flight plan, but must maintain the initial oceanic level and speed until landfall. If communication failure is experienced while within the NAT region, the aircraft should continue in accordance with its oceanic clearance to the cleared landfall. On arrival at the last oceanic point specified, which is normally landfall, if the aircraft still has communication failure, then one of the following procedures should be adopted. If the flight is following its flight planned route, either because it radio failed before acknowledging a clearance or because it was cleared on its flight planned route, then it should continue on the filed flight plan route. After passing the last specified oceanic route point, the flight should conform to the relevant state procedures or regulations. If cleared on other than the filed flight plan route, after passing this point, the pilot should conform with the relevant state procedures or regulations, rejoining the filed flight plan route by proceeding via the published ATS route structure where possible to the next significant point contained in the filed flight plan. Aircraft with a destination within the NAT region should proceed to their clearance limit and follow the ICAO standard procedure. At or as close as possible to the expected approach time, the aircraft should commence descent from the appropriate designated navigation area serving the destination aerodrome. Detailed procedures are promulgated in relevant state AIPs.